I think that the other thing we have to watch is the oil patch is falling apart. I know you know Whiting. Whiting filed for bankruptcy today. I think that they're first of many. And what happens is a lot of people are saying, wait a second, this is the other bomb that's dropping. And these are companies that have been the greatest employer. I mean, Whiting had fabulous, Midwest had Bakken assets at one time. Now, the Bakken, you can't make any money in the Bakken. You can't make any money in the Eagle Ford. You can't make any money pretty much anywhere, certainly in Colorado. And I think that this is something we have to keep an eye on, because when we start seeing the layoffs, some of the layoffs are going to bounce back. And some of them are not coming back at all.
Yep. A lot of headlines around oil today, Jim. I'm sure you've seen sources on Bloomberg, supply of the Saudis at capacity now, tankers with no destination. The president called it a tax cut last night, but as B of A pointed out, gasoline consumption's down 37 year on year. So we're not getting that consumer pop, as we've talked about repeatedly this week.
Right. I mean, it's ethereal. It would be terrific if people were driving. No one's going anywhere. I think that the flip side's better. The fact that no one's going anywhere is actually means maybe we can get out of this faster. But it is true that what matters in terms of what was the best employment area, it was the Permian. And more importantly, you want energy self-sufficiency. You do not want to get us back into where the Russians and the Saudis want us, which is to be enslaved to them in terms of national security. So I hope that the president and the Treasury Secretary worry about this issue, because I know we had a senator on earlier on Squawk talking about why are we supporting the Saudis, who are really trying to take away our energy self-sufficiency. Something really worth watching, because that could be a real casualty of this period that won't come back. And I think something that was really great about America that's happened in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were talking about 10 million barrels a day, Jim. It feels like not that long ago, and now we're at 13. The numbers are stunning in terms of what this industry has been able to do. Let's call it now over the last 10 to 15 years, really, and just a continual upward move. I wonder if you think and where we're going to bottom here. I know it's an impossible question to answer on WTI, but you were talking yesterday about the fact that when you get to the Permian, and you're in the current month, it's like $10 or something like that. I mean, is it possible we could see the futures actually hit those levels as well?
I think so. I think the fact that the Permian being the largest area, they're only getting $10. Why doesn't that reverberate throughout? I deal with a lot of tanker companies, and they're almost full up. There's still some room in Cushing, which is back in play, but they're holding it back for when oil trades between $5 and $10. This is a deflationary period, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Great Depression. And remember, in the Great Depression, they were trying so hard to keep prices up. They were doing everything they could. They were killing animals to keep prices up. They were holding back crops. Are we going to get to that? I think that we should be thinking about that. For some assets, we see a lumber going down, but it's really oil that we can't afford oil to go down to $5.10. That's completely destructive for our companies. Almost every company except for the one you see there, Chevron, is not ready for that. And you do not want a big raft of bankruptcies. Scott Sheffield, who was the man who told me we were going to get to 12 million a day when we were at 8, and that was predicting we could get up to 18 million. Scott Sheffield's the dean of the group, Pioneer. He's talking about only having 7 companies left during this period, maybe 10 companies. Can you imagine? And the people keep saying consolidation. And what he keeps saying is, why would you buy a company that's going to be bankrupt soon? So I think we have to follow that with a level that's almost as important, David, as some of these companies that have really bad balance sheets, like T-Mobile in the New World.